senior advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Mark Regev. Thank you for coming on the show. I think we'll start there about the civilians that are being warned to leave, maybe alerting to the ground invasion starting. But where are they to go? Because that is the big question for many of them.
So good morning. Of course, we want to see a minimal civilian casualties. Unfortunately, every war in modern history has involved civilian casualties, and there will inevitably be some. But we don't target civilians, and we're making a maximum effort to have civilians out of harm's way. And we've asked Palestinians in the northern Gaza Strip, where we know there will be intensive fighting. That's where Hamas has got its underground tunnel network. That's where they have their missiles. That's where they launch their missiles. That's where they have their command and control. That's where they have their arms depot, all buried in underground under civilian neighborhoods. So we've asked them to relocate south. I can tell you they have done so in their hundreds of thousands. And that's good. I understand it's difficult for people to move, but it's better that they move than that they are in harm's way and caught up in the crossfire between us and Hamas. What I find astounding, and it conflicts the narrative that's out there, that actually Israel is taking efforts. You know, we're supposedly the enemies of the Palestinians, yes, but we're making an effort to save Palestinian lives, while Hamas, which claims to speak for the Palestinians, yes, is in fact preventing people from leaving. It's telling them not to leave, and those who want to leave are being roadblocks are being put up and so forth to prevent them moving south. By moving south, they are getting out of a combat zone. That's common sense, just as people fled violence in other conflicts, whether in Syria or in the Ukraine. Fleeing a conflict zone is the most natural and normal thing to do, and we urge them to do so before the fighting gets off. When it's going to get serious very soon, they should be out of the way.
There are many conflicting reports out of the region. There have been many conflicting claims, but there are a few things that we just, for our viewers, we need to establish as fact. One is that Hamas is hidden among civilians for 15 years. Two is that Hamas leaders, while holding press conferences at Four Seasons hotels in other countries, are telling the Palestinians to stay there, while the Israelis are asking them to evacuate for their own safety. And I must say, the third thing is Arab countries put out a great press release about supporting Palestinians, but do absolutely nothing in their time of need. And that's what I'd like to ask you about next, sir, and that is Egypt. The United States has been pressing Egypt to open the border with Gaza so families can get out, they can be safe. Can you give us any update on what you're hearing? Will the Egyptians and will other Arab countries do more than just put out press releases saying how much they care about the Palestinians and then do nothing about it? Or will they actually allow some families to move out while the fighting is going on?
As you correctly said, this is one of the issues on the table. Your Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, was just in Egypt. He's now meeting in Jerusalem with my Prime Minister. It'll be interesting to see what we hear, what he heard in Egypt. But can I take on something, talk about something you spoke about earlier? You said Hamas is worse than ISIS. And that's true. They are. And the question is, why are they worse than ISIS? Because like ISIS, Hamas has that crazy, murderous, extremist ideology / theology, yes? And they brutalize people, they murder the innocent, they rape women. Terrible, terrible things. I saw pictures of children in cots who were gunned with multiple bullet holes in their bodies because they were just slaughtered. And that's without talking about the abducting of innocent people and taking them back to Gaza and holding them in some dark dungeon. But why is Hamas so dangerous? And this is the important difference from ISIS. ISIS didn't have a state sponsor. And the international community united and destroyed ISIS's territorial caliphate, whether it was in Syria or in Iraq. Why is Hamas so strong? Because it has a state sponsor, and that state sponsor is Iran. And Hamas receives some 93% of its budget from Iran. It gets weapons from Iran. It gets training from Iran. It gets other support from Iran, funding, weapons, everything. Without Iranian support, Hamas wouldn't be the power it is today. Now, we will defeat Hamas. We will win this. We didn't want this war. They started it, and we'll finish it. We'll finish it on our terms. But we have no illusions about the danger Hamas poses. We saw that danger Saturday a week ago, and we will fight to win this. Can I tell you, my young daughter was on holiday in Europe. She raced back from Israel, from Europe to join up with her army unit. She's a reserve officer in the IDF. She's now down south. She and thousands, tens of thousands of young Israelis have volunteered for duty. This country is now in a moment of unity. We understand there's a threat. We understand that threat has to be defeated. Hamas, we will dismantle its military machine. We'll dismantle its political control over Gaza. We will not go back to a situation where we live next to a neighbor, a territory controlled by an ISIS-type group that butchers our people. No country should have to tolerate that. Israel definitely won't.
Well, and no country would tolerate that. It's fascinating that people lecture Israel, telling them what they can and cannot do when they have an ISIS-type state living next to them. Senior advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Mark Regev, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it.